Welcome back to the channel. I was watching a video with a colorist and they were explaining some concepts using a grayscale. So I wanted to do something similar. You can find your grayscale under generators under the effects tab. But if you add one to your timeline and you go over to your color page, you can't actually add a node to it because it doesn't see it as something valid in the timeline. So you're going to have to right click on it and say new compound clip, call it gray, and then go over. And what the colorist was trying to explain was with this grayscale, there's no color. So it's just pure white at the top and complete black at the bottom. Part of it was getting to know your tools inside your color page. So normally speaking, we'd put like a little S curve here. So look at the scope and look at the image and see how this is affecting it. Where's the roll off? Where's the shadows? Same with the highlights and the brightness. So we can watch that gradient move. This really teaches you what is it doing to the image without having all the complex colors to contend with. So you can also do this with shadows, see how that roll off is, highlights, and really get to know as you're making adjustments what kind of effect they're having on your image. Another thing she showed was soft clipping. So let's look at the lows here. And if we use the low and crank it up, you get this really harsh just pivot point right from pure black to where it starts to roll off. And you can see that point right here. And then let's put that back and check out what soft does. It's a nice, more controlled, gradual kind of pivot. Same with the highs. So if you got in here or you put in a harder curve here right on the curves, you can see it's putting this huge line in your image. Whereas if you were to softly roll it, something like this, where it's gradual over time, a nice bend, that's a little more pleasing to the eye. It's a little more natural. If we use the high soft, you get this nice roll off, a little more controlled. You can get in here and start experimenting with the different tabs and your color wheels, your log wheels, all that, and see how they're affecting this basic image. So another one is to use your qualifier and get to learn that tool because qualifier is very powerful. To make this example a little easier, I'm going to push this grayscale into more like this orange red kind of color. Then we'll go over to our qualifier. Let's go ahead and make a serial node with option S. So that means this one's being fed by the information into here. And I'll go to the qualifier. And let's just pick down the middle and look what happens. It's saying whatever section you choose is the sampling of those pixels. And now you can get in here and start seeing like how does the roll off? Where do these tools affect? So if we went clean black and start sliding it around, you can look how it's kind of gathering in on the sides of the image, clean white. Like really look at how it's interacting with the image. So then we could do the softness, kind of gives it a little more of a roll off like we're looking for. Where do we want the center of the color to be? Is it right where we chose or a little bit leaning one way or another? The width, how much sampling are we going to get? This kind of helps you isolate the single color a little bit more. And then softness, how sharp is the roll off? That lets a more natural kind of sampling go. And then saturation, same thing. High soft, low soft, similar to the curves we were already using. And then luminance, where on the high and the low scale is this coming in? So you can see as we roll the highs down, it's kind of just looking for the darker colors. And as we roll it more to the right, it's looking for the higher. Just a couple examples of using this grayscale as a teaching tool to see how these tools are interacting. One last one I wanted to show you guys was a film grain. So let's drop film grain on and let's look at RGB colors here. I'll go ahead and reset our color warper. Look how the channels are affected when we put the grain on it. You can actually kind of see the colors R, G, and B. And then let's crank up the opacity here. And it's kind of just adding almost like noise to the channels. And so now you can really see based on your parameters, what's it doing to the channels? Do we want it to do it on all the channels? That kind of thing. So it's really letting you see how it's affecting just the black and the white, what your tools are doing without having to compete with all those different colors that you might have on a shot where there's all kinds of saturation going on and things like that. So I thought this was a cool experiment in looking at what these tools are doing to even a basic black/white image and really looking to see how the shadows interact, the highlights interact, the midtones, all that stuff. So play around on your color page with this grayscale and get to know some of these tools. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching as always. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.